Football is not coming home. We've said it every summer, every tournament, that same delusional chant.
It's heartbreaking, it really is. I'm trying to stay positive and think about the amazing run we've had this time. Being out in America, it's been amazing, but still, it does just still hurt.
I was gutted. We were there. Why did we do it all over again? Southgate, defensive. We should have put an attacker on. Attacking is the best form of defence. I couldn't believe it. We just invited that.
Those four words in football have created more hope or more disappointment. For 60 years, England have carried the weight of that promise into every major tournament. Every generation believes this one will finally be different.
1966. It happened. It was real. Jeff Hurst, the hat-trick, Wembley, the whole thing. Genuinely one of the greatest moments in sporting history, and this country deserves every bit of pride that we take from it. And trust me, we do, 60 years on. But, and I say this with enormous affection, we've been dining out now on this for a very long time. The waiters, they're getting tired. They're getting fed up. Give me something different. For goodness sake, England, how many years have we got to hear this story? Because here's the thing about England at World Cups. It's never boring. It's never boring. It's frequently painful, but it is never, ever dull.
And honestly, for a while, it looks like they were right. England survived every test the World Cup threw at them. They topped their group, escaped knockout scares, reached a World Cup semi-final for the first time in 36 years, and stood just 90 minutes away from the final. And then Argentina arrived.
And Argentina plays Spain.
And now, the dream once again was over. Talent has never been the issue. But every problem they had managed to hide throughout the tournament finally showed up against a team good enough to punish them.
What a bunch of f***ing idiots on the bench. You absolute... I cannot believe that you score against Argentina and then you sit back for 35 minutes and you bring on defenders. It's literal sabotage. Look, you got to front it up when you lose, and deserve to lose. Absolute letdowns. Golden generation, my arse. Embarrassing.
This wasn't a heartbreaking accident. It was the ending their entire World Cup had been quietly building toward. Everything started like a dream on June 17 in Dallas, as England faced Croatia once again, the same opponent that had handed them so many painful memories in previous World Cups. This time, however, the script was completely different. Harry Kane delivered a brilliant performance with a brace, including a penalty that saw him equal Gary Lineker all-time England World Cup scoring record. Celebrations doubled when Jude Bellingham added his name to the scoresheet before Marcus Rashford came off the bench to seal a convincing 4-2 victory. It was exactly the perfect start fans had been hoping for from one of the tournament favourites.
I mean, it's not a perfect team, but it's pretty good. Set pieces, they're deadly on that. It's almost a complete team. Little suspect in the back, but that's going to grow. And this is also a very good team in Croatia that they just got 3 points against.
Is it coming home, Rebecca, or what?
Zlatan, it's coming home.
After such an emphatic and promising victory, no one could have imagined that England would immediately find themselves chalked in an almost unbelievable scenario in their second match, where everything suddenly started to get very strange. Facing Ghana in Foxborough, the Three Lions dominated possession with an astonishing 79%, the highest figure recorded in the past 60 years by any team that failed to score a single goal at a World Cup. In other words, they passed the ball around beautifully like it was an art exhibition, but somehow forgot that the whole point of football is putting the ball into the back of the net.
Madueke tried to slip it in towards Reece James, who has pulled it across. Okay, Rice incisive from England now. Harry Kane.
That frustration reached its peak with the most controversial moment of the group stage when Ezri Konsa lunged recklessly at Prince Adu inside the penalty area. Despite failing to win the ball and bringing his opponent down, the referee waved play on, awarding neither a penalty nor a red card. The controversial decision left Ghana head coach Carlos Queiroz unable to hide his bitterness during the post-match press conference.
I'm not sure. VAR is still working in the World Cup. We still have VAR. It's working. I have some doubts about that because another penalty that they need give to Ghana, clear penalty. VAR went for a coffee, and it's natural. I would like them also take my coffees once in a while, but it was a clear penalty. Clear penalty, red card. You have any doubts about that? You guys that you saw the game have any doubts about that, or is only me that I was in the game? Sorry for my sarcasm, but if I say this kind of thing serious, they punish me. So I hope you understand that I am joking.
The match ended in a frustrating 0-0 draw, and the wave of criticism quickly engulfed the national team, with even former England striker Wayne Rooney now working as a BBC pundit, showing absolutely no mercy toward the next generation.
I think this performance it's a performance which I'm happy it's happened now.
Yeah.
But I certainly think these games, honestly, are so much tougher than if you play a Portugal, if you play a Spain, if you play a France. Then your concentration needs to be there. Your concentration in terms of defensively needs to be there.
Rooney's blunt criticism, combined with the growing scepticism from the public, is exactly where the story of this video truly begins. A team constantly accused of playing unconvincing football, yet somehow still refusing to lose a single match. Silencing all the criticism, England wrapped up the group stage with a comfortable 2-0 victory over Panama. The match marked a historic milestone as Harry Kane officially surpassed Gary Lineker to become England's greatest World Cup goalscorer of all time, a record that had stood for 36 years. The moment became so iconic that Lineker himself publicly congratulated Kane, who responded with a light-hearted joke on social media, thanking the England legend for holding onto the record long enough to give him the chance to break it.
Finally beat Gary's record, Gary Lineker's record. Yeah. Any message for Gary? Because he was obviously...
Sorry, Gary. One ahead of you now, but no, I'm sure he'll send some congratulations. And I've said before, one of England's greatest strikers, especially in World Cup. So, yeah, to just go ahead of him now, I think it's a proud moment for myself, and I'm sure he'll be happy.
The group stage officially came to an end, with England proudly finishing atop Group L, but the road ahead was about to become far more suffocating. That daunting challenge arrived immediately in the round of 32, where they were drawn against DR Congo, a nation making its first ever appearance in a World Cup knockout match. While both pundits and fans expected it to be a straightforward assignment, reality proved that assumption to be a fatal mistake. Just 7 minutes into the match, Brian Sapanga fired a clinical finish past Jordan Pickford to give DR Congo the lead, leaving the entire stadium in Atlanta stunned into silence. Hit by an early shock, England immediately took control of possession, launched wave after wave of attacks, and created countless chances. Yet the deadlock persisted until the 75th minute, when Harry Kane finally found the priceless equaliser. But the captain wasn't finished. In the 86th minute, he stepped up once again with another world-class finish to complete a dramatic 2-1 comeback victory. That hard-fought but hugely significant victory not only sent the Three Lions into the next round, but Harry Kane's heroic brace also officially moved him past the king of football, Pelé, on the all-time World Cup scoring chart. Yet behind those beautiful and eye-catching statistics lay a worrying truth about England's fall. This was the first time since the legendary 1966 World Cup final that England had managed to win a knockout match after falling behind. It highlighted just how vulnerable their defence had become, and the challenges ahead would almost certainly leave no room for those kinds of mistakes to happen again.
Yeah, look, after this game, big relief, really happy we've got through, but I don't think he'll think it's okay. I don't think he can. I think he's got to somehow... I said before the tournament, Mark, we've got 4 defenders, but they need to become a back 4. They're actually individually quite good defenders one-on-one, but actually I don't think they're a unit yet, and I think that there's just that vulnerability that we've got is very... England are obviously ahead of Mexico in terms of world rankings, in terms of players, but I thought we would get through today, but on Sunday evening, I think that's a massive, massive test, and we're going to have to step up a lot from the levels of performance we're currently at.
That defensive vulnerability quickly pushed England into an even more terrifying challenge, and if you thought the previous match had already delivered maximum drama, just wait until you see what unfolded in Mexico City. Stepping onto the legendary Azteca Stadium for the round of 16, Three Lions had to withstand the deafening pressure of more than 80,000 passionate home supporters. Amid that suffocating atmosphere, Jude Bellingham silenced the entire stadium by scoring twice in just 98 seconds, an unprecedented feat that no player had accomplished at this very stadium since Diego Maradona in 1986.
Saka. Bukayo Saka, past Kane, but Bellingham coming in! England lead in the Azteca! Bellingham, England coming again, it's Harry Kane, and Bellingham again! 2 in 2 minutes for England, who are in Mexican dreamland!
Just minutes before halftime, Mexico responded immediately. Julian Quinones fired home to cut the deficit to 2-1, reigniting the hopes of more than 80,000 home fans and making the atmosphere inside both dressing rooms more tense than ever heading into the second half. If the first half had been tense, the second half truly descended into hell for England. Everything began to unravel in the 54th minute when Gabriel Kwanzaa was shown a straight red card after a VAR review, forcing the Three Lions to play with 10 men for more than 35 minutes under the scorching heat. Yet just 6 minutes later, Mexico shot themselves in the foot when goalkeeper Raul Rengel fouled Anthony Gordon inside the penalty area, allowing Harry Kane to calmly convert the spot kick and extend England's lead to 3-1. But the madness wasn't over. At the other end of the pitch, it was Kane himself who conceded a penalty. VAR intervened once again, and Raul Jimenez made no mistake from the spot to reduce the deficit 3-2. In the closing minutes, an entire nation came within touching distance of forcing extra time against an exhausted opponent. But no, with only 10 men on the pitch, England held firm until the final whistle, making history by becoming the first team ever to defeat Mexico at the World Cup inside the legendary Azteca Stadium.
You have to give, bearing in mind all the things we talked about with the altitude issues and how the England players were going to cope with it, and then the crowd and the Azteca and this Mexican team that had the whole country behind them. And they really threw everything at England, but maybe just lacked that bit of quality in the final third. But for England, you have to give them an immense amount of credit. How they dug in, 10 men, how tired they were at the end, or for most of the second half, how much work they had to do.
In England had the moments in the situations. And I think every time they had them, they punished Mexico. So the Mexico was always good in the game. I would say, if you look at the 90 minutes, Mexico was the better team. But every time England had to step up, if it's the first goal or second goal, or then they get the red card. And the next thing is straight away they get a penalty. You know, England, and they punished Mexico again. So, and I think that was, you were able to see every time when Mexico felt like we have the push to come, they got punished. There was a lot of teams that don't play good football, right? Today we knew with the condition, everything, it would be not easy for England to go there, and you saw it, that they struggled, but you have them give them credit for how they set it up, how they finished it, and how they used the momentums to score the goals to punish Mexico and put it on the Mexico that Mexico has to make the game.
The doubts surrounding England's resilience were quickly answered, because if the round of 16 had been a nightmare, then the quarter-final against Norway became the stage, where every crack within the Three Lions was exposed to the entire world. This challenge was anything but ordinary, as they faced a Norwegian side playing with enormous confidence in their first ever World Cup quarter-final, led by an Erling Haaland, who arrived on a devastating run of scoring in 14 consecutive international matches. The heart-stopping script unfolded once again, as Andreas Gelderup gave Norway the lead in the 36th minute, before Jude Bellingham came to England's rescue with a timely equaliser just before half-time. The deadlock forced both sides into extra time after 90 tense minutes. And once again, it was Bellingham who emerged as the hero, capitalising on a costly mistake by the Norwegian goalkeeper to score the winner in the 93rd minute and seal a dramatic 2-1 victory. The result officially sent England into their first World Cup semi-final since 1990, and it should have been a night of pure celebration for English football. The cracks began to show the moment the final whistle blew. While the players celebrated wildly, head coach Thomas Tuchel felt very differently. Speaking immediately after the match, the German manager made no attempt to hide the disappointment written all over his face, despite the fact that his team had just secured a place in a historic World Cup semi-final.
We made life very, very difficult for ourselves today. The result is fantastic. We're in the last four. It's amazing, but not happy with the performance.
In what sense?
In every sense. Because, again, the commitment is there, but we made life very, very difficult for us in the way we played, how we played. Sloppy, a lot of technical mistakes, not fast enough, not repetitive enough. We were lucky today.
The German manager's harsh reaction immediately sparked an underlying war of words. When asked about his coach's comments, the hero of the match, Jude Bellingham, didn't dodge the question and openly expressed his frustration.
The manager's actually not very happy. He said he was disappointed with the performance. There could have been more in many different ways.
Well, whatever. whatever.
Yeah, I think he obviously believes there could be more from the team.
Yeah, it's difficult out there. It's difficult. It's a tough shift. All the players are putting a very tough shift. So my thoughts and appreciation goes to the players who was out there who put in a great shift yet again.
Faced with the growing tension and his younger teammates' willingness to confront the issue head-on, even captain Harry Kane, long regarded as the embodiment of composure and professionalism, felt compelled to step in, carefully positioning himself between both sides in an effort to preserve harmony inside the dressing room.
Would it surprise you to know the manager wasn't happy with the performance? Has he told you that?
Yeah, he just said there in the change room, obviously, wow, massive congratulations, and we should enjoy it and celebrate. He still feels like there's a part of him that knows we can do better, which in a way is a good thing. If we're in a semi-final of a World Cup, knowing we can still improve, still find another level, then yeah, we've got to take that as a positive. Like I just touched on there, we have the most important ingredients as a team. We showed that again today. If we can just start ticking a little bit better with the ball, with possession, then yeah, we've got a couple of big games ahead.
But as it turned out, that internal war of words was merely the prelude to an even greater heartbreak, one that not even Harry Kane's attempts to restore unity could prevent once the real storm arrived on the pitch. That storm officially arrived at 8:00 p.m. local time on July 15 at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, where Thomas Tuchel made 3 major changes to the lineup from the victory over Norway, bringing in Morgan Rogers, Jed Spence and Reece James in place of Noni Madueke, Nico O'Reilly and Ezri Konsa. The personnel changes were a necessary preparation for the ultimate challenge, defending world champions Argentina in a match that marked the first time in Lionel Messi's illustrious career that he officially faced England.
Lionel Messi has never beaten England. He's also never faced
never
England.
Played them, yes.
So there's that. What are we looking at here, Baka?
Yeah, well, England are favourites, aren't they? And I think rightly so. But they need to be better. As I said, Argentina have shown signs of vulnerability, I think, the way they play. And they're reliant on one man. And I think, as Nathan rightly said, and we said before, down the sides, I think they're vulnerable. But England have to go out and try and do what they need to do and get the goals. They'll see vulnerability in England, the way they've played as well, and trying to exploit that. You know, 4 years ago, they were amazing, Argentina, but they virtually got a lot of the same players. They're 4 years older. They're not playing in the leagues that you should be accustomed to, and I think England could find them out, I really do.
The excitement surrounding Messi's historic first meeting with England quickly gave way to a tense tactical battle as both teams approached the opening half with extreme caution, creating very few clear-cut chances. The deadlock was finally broken after half-time, when England's 60-year dream suddenly felt closer than ever. In the 55th minute, Anthony Gordon raced onto a perfectly weighted pass from Morgan Rogers and slotted home from close range to give the Three Lions the lead, sending the Atlanta crowd into absolute pandemonium. Gordon's breakthrough ignited England's greatest hope of becoming world champions in generations, and for the next 30 minutes, the Three Lions stood closer to reaching their first World Cup final in 6 long decades than they had any point before. But just when glory was within touching distance, their character was tested once again, and they fell into the same familiar trap, doing exactly what England have done so many times before whenever the pressure reaches its highest point. That pragmatic decision to retreat turned fears of another cruel ending into reality. Instead of continuing to push forward in search of the second goal that would have killed the game, Tuchel instructed his side to drop deeper and protect their narrow lead, a decision that Harry Kane would later admit was almost a natural instinct for this England team whenever they found themselves standing on the edge of history.
I think for probably 60-70 minutes we were really good, high tempo, pressed well. The game was quite even still, but yeah, we got the goal, and I think we fully deserved to be ahead. After that, we struggled to get pressure on the ball. We struggled to find solutions with the ball, and then the waves of attacks from them just began, and we struggled to get any momentum. Obviously, we changed formation. We tried to get more pressure, but just couldn't find a solution. So disappointing for it to end like that, because it was like, yeah, we went 1-0 up and we just tried to hang on when this, we spoke a lot about that this campaign, about doing the opposite, but it's obviously easier said than done.
England's willingness to retreat became an open invitation to disaster, handing complete control of the match back to the reigning world champions. Argentina, like a predator sensing hesitation from its prey, immediately tightened the pressure. In the 75th minute, Alexis McAllister rattled the post with a powerful header, and from that moment on, the weight pressing down on England's goal grew heavier with every passing second. Then came the tragedy, unfolding like a horror film that England supporters have been forced to watch over and over again throughout history. In the 85th minute, Enzo Fernandez curled a magnificent long-range strike into the net from a Lionel Messi assist to level the score at 1-1. Then, 2 minutes into stoppage time, Messi produced another moment of brilliance, delivering the decisive cross for Lautaro Martinez to power home the winning header and complete Argentina's breathtaking 2-1 comeback. That lightning-fast comeback dealt a devastating blow to England's dreams, exposing the ruthless nature of elite football in the space of just a few minutes. 2 goals in 7 minutes, both carrying the unmistakable signature of Lionel Messi, who assisted both decisive strikes in his very first match against England.
Yo creo que este equipo cuando mejor juega es cuando está en dificultad, sinceramente. Y cuando estamos en dificultad y el rival duda un poquito, ahí vemos sangre y vamos hasta donde sea. Creo que es eso la sensación que me da, la sensación que me dio de ellos también.
Frustrating, angry, disappointed. Once England broke the deadlock, went 1-0 up, everything was fine, everything was comfortable, and for some inexplicable reason, they dropped and they dropped and they kept on dropping until they're defending the 6-yard box. It wasn't even the penalty box, it was the 6-yard box at times. You're screaming, we're all screaming. Argentinian, France, Scotland, get out. Get out, because as ex-footballers, you're looking at it going, Argentina are going to score now, they're going to score now. They hit the post twice with Alexis McAllister, yet they still did not get out of the penalty area and try and get up the pitch. I don't know why they did it. Whether it was instructions off the sides, which I don't think it was, because the manager would have hated that, I'm almost certain of it.
The helplessness of England's superstars against Messi's magic rubbed even more salt into a wound that English football has never truly managed to heal. A familiar story was the painful phrase England's captain used to describe the heartbreak, and in truth, he had every reason to say it. That sense of familiarity is reflected in England's tragic journey across 4 consecutive major tournaments. 4 opportunities to make history, and 4 times they let it slip away through almost the exact same pattern of collapse in the moments that mattered most. That repeated collapse goes far beyond bad luck or simply having an off night. It has become a pattern, a systemic psychological burden woven into the identity of the 3 Lions, one that no generation, not even one blessed with world-class talents like Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham, has been able to overcome on its own.
Really disappointed.
I am very disappointed because I was born in 1966 and I was really rooting for the boys, for the lads.
It was a really hard watch.
You know, we were ahead 1-0, so I'm so gutted that we then decided to defend a lead.
I would have never thought, even if we lost, I didn't think we'd lose this way. Maybe penalties, maybe just an unstoppable goal. But to basically give up, go defensive and think, yeah, let's just hold on to what we got. Come on, that's no way to lose in a semi-final of a World Cup.
That systemic curse ultimately crushed every remaining hope, bringing us back to the true heart of England's footballing tragedy. Rather than endlessly waiting for another glorious day to arrive, we are forced to confront the painful reality that for 60 long years, football has stubbornly refused to come home. That refusal clearly goes beyond questions of individual talent or squad depth. Despite some obvious limitations on the bench, England still possessed genuine world-class stars throughout the tournament in players like Kane and Bellingham. The tragedy came at the precise moment they stood on the threshold of history. Instead of finding the courage to finish their opponent, they chose to retreat and pray for time to run out. And once again, football taught them the same old lesson. Hope has never been a tactic. Yet perhaps that painful lesson is also what keeps patience alive, because maybe 4 years from now, another generation of England players will once again find themselves standing before that same historic doorway. When that day comes, the fans will sing the same familiar anthem, not because they are certain of a happy ending, but because it is the only way to keep hope alive. Even so, after everything we have witnessed in Atlanta, the most honest answer to the question of whether football is coming home may simply be this brutal truth. Football may never come home after all. If you enjoy our video, don't forget to hit like to help this video reach to other football lovers, and hit the subscribe button to follow for more interesting videos about football stories. See you in the next video.